So in today's video, I wanted to talk about, what is it? I guess something that I would call implicit physicality. This is an interesting one. And of course, like I always say, I'm not an expert. I am not an expert. These are just things that I've learned for myself that help me deal with certain things, and hopefully it can help others. That's why I make these videos. So when I talk about implicit physicality, this is an interesting one. Let's say that you're in a tense situation. You're in a situation where you're upset, you're angry, or you're scared, or you're sad, right? You're having an intense negative emotion, and it's feeling outrageously intense. There are various mechanisms with dealing with intense. There are various mechanisms for dealing with intense emotions, but I want to talk about this one called implicit physicality. It's a little bit more metaphysical. It's a little bit more quote unquote cerebral, but I think that it would be a good aid for a lot of people. So let me try to explain this one. The best example is when you're talking to somebody, or you're talking about something that's very emotionally dense and emotionally heavy, and you're just mad and you're just raging, like you're like, oh, I want to punch you in the face. And you're mad and you're so mad, you like want to punch him in the face, and you're gonna punch a wall or something. Like I'm talking like you are viciously angry. It happens. People get angry, and like the biggest thing is getting comfortable with that anger. So when I mean implicit physicality, I will always be opposed to repressing emotion. Try not to repress that emotion, right? Like repressed emotions can basically simmer and decay your physical body. Like, you can, what is it? I guess you can somaticize, or you can put stresses into your hand. You're like, your hand will remember, I wanted to punch that guy. So don't suppress or repress your emotions. But this is what I want you to do. The funniest way to describe it is like through popular media. I think about anime, and I think about auras, or I think about comic books or superhero movies, and I think about astral projection like Doctor Strange. I think this is a good, mnemonic to have when you think about it, this implicit physicality, right? Now, what I'm about to describe is like, don't do this, but you'll see what I mean in a second. Let your imagination punch that guy in the face. Don't punch them in the face. Like physically, don't punch them in the face. And don't repress it. Don't repress it. Don't punch them in the face. But imagine yourself punching them in the face and be comfortable with that. Imagine yourself punching the wall and be comfortable with that. Try not to punch the wall. Try not to punch the wall. That's the hardest thing, is try not to punch the wall, because that hurts. Like try not to scream. It hurts your vocal cords. It hurts. Like when you're upset, you're angry and mad and violently upset. Try not to damage yourself or damage others. Right? That is the goal. But the technique for trying to reach that goal is to let your mind fully understand what it would like to do. Let your most angry or your most sad version of yourself take control of your mind. You are still in control of your body. Let your emotions take control of your mind. It's okay. Teach yourself, and this is something that I try to continue to practice. It is a practice. It's something that you have to work at. Like none of these things just click. Like you have to work at it. But teach yourself to like kind of astral project. Like, imagine a version of yourself that's punching the wall or punching the guy in the face. Like, if that's what works. Imagine yourself screaming, but try not to repress it, and try not to physically execute it. I think those two methods can end up being like bad habits for your body either way. Like, like if you punch the guy in the face, like there are repercussions. But also if you like just bottle it up, that's a repercussion as well. Let your mind experience it, right? Let your emotion experience it. Let your emotional self experience it, and be comfortable with that emotional self. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of skill. This is by no means like a hack, but it is a technique. And by learning this technique, I feel as though, for example, I know I've gotten a lot better at controlling tense situations, right? A lot less anxiety when facing like anxious situations, or situations that are really tense, or situations that are uncomfortable or awkward. I've gotten a lot better at saying like, okay, well, I can just release this energy, right? I can release this shakiness. I can release this energy. I can release this anger or fear or whatever it may be. And like, I can put it into a form of like this astral projection. I can put it in this form of this imagination and process it that way and not repress it. And remember that like, that's how I felt. I remember that that's how I felt because I processed it in a different way. Again, this is a technique. This is not necessarily like how I've understood it. It's a technique. It's not necessarily a hack. It's like it's something to practice. It's something worthwhile practicing. But I find that you can get a lot of calmness and stillness from like this thing. And it's just something I wanted to share. So thank you.
Now, tonight's adventure into the unknown, into the world of...
I love you for it.
Love you too.